Hey there. So, first up, I've got to say a massive kind of full all caps yes to the messaging that you've got here going on behind the colour palette that you want to choose. Now, this is exactly the kind of story that you should be weaving into your brand to make that connection to who you are first. So I absolutely love the Egyptian connection that you've got going on, and I really love your shaman story too. So I do think that there is definitely room for you to bring that into your brand messaging, but without drawing kind of too much into that woo-woo side of things. The kind of shaman story, in my mind, brings more weight to your offering over those that are kind of out there already just, peddling that what you appreciate appreciates kind of mantra type thing. So although I don't really know much about the kind of shamanic life, but the kind of the history and the tradition around this story and the Egyptian kind of connection really brings your story and your message to life. So I would definitely weave that in there. And seems that you are already, very mindful of being kind of seen a kind of woo-woo. I am so sure that you won't ever come across that way. So really looking at what you've got going on here, I kind of think that I'm perhaps your perfect customer, in the sense that I do kind of believe a lot in the woo-woo type of practices that are out there, but I really hate that kind of woo-woo light and fairies kind of thing that everyone seems to be pulling on right now. So I totally love that you have gone into this darker palette tones already, because this is so right for your brand. The deeper, more connected kind of earth colours of natural pigments, rather than those kind of light washy colours that a lot of manifestation kind of straight light worker type people are using right now. So this already gives a much deeper story to your visual brand. So from knowing what I know so far, from when we spoke on the call and from the notes that you sent over, I really believe that your core colour combinations, the ones that are most suited to your brand based on the kind of psychological connections, are around the indigo, the gold and the green. Now, you have started to pull out these colours into your core brand already, so that's definitely the right direction. But of course there are so many variation of these out there, but these are really the core colours that will work from. So looking at your initial colour choices, you've got some great combinations in there already. And for your umbrella brand, I'd keep with these kind of core colours of the indigo, the gold and the green, which you've started to kind of bring in and use here. And then using rather than the blue colour, choosing kind of an indigo, which is perhaps somewhere between that the dark kind of blue colour you've got going up in the top there, and the dark gunmetal black colour. Choosing an indigo colour, which is somewhere between the two of those as your core colour, and then we can bring in the brighter blue colour that I know that you're personally quite connected to, and start to use that in one of your secondary colour palettes, so for the products. Now, I do love, let's have a little look back here, the imperial purple, and the fact that you've noted that this was the kind of the purple that the Roman kings wore, and that the dye is more expensive than gold. So that, I love that story that's behind there. So I would definitely recommend we bring this in, but when it comes to launching your kind of high level offering. So that colour can become a secondary colour in your colour palette, but for your high level offerings rather than your low level products. So I've put together a couple of examples to kind of show what I mean based on what you've pulled together so far here. So I'm just going to bring up this PDF for you, and I will send this over to you as well so you've got a copy. But I've just started to look at your core brand, your personal Renaissance brand, and started to use those three core colours, the indigo, this really dark deep blue, the gold and the green, and I added a couple of lighter, more neutral colours to the side, because it's always useful to have neutral colours in your core brand so you can start to use these as well. Now, of course, I have just used a font that I had available at the time, which was similar to the one that you've chosen, and I did have a play with, I don't know if you can kind of see in here, the kind of Egyptian flower symbol. I just had a quick play with that for you whilst I was pulling this together. So these are the kind of core brand colours that I would recommend for your main brand, your umbrella brand, as it were, the personal Renaissance side of things. And then what we can do is, taking the core colours here, we'll move those into your product offerings. So your first product offering, if it's your lower level offering, we can start to bring in this brighter blue colour. So bring that in and still use two of your core brand colours, the green and the indigo colour. And then for mid-level offerings, we can then drop off one of the core colours and bring in this new kind of coral orange colour, and use that as one of your secondary product colours, but still keeping the core brand colours, the indigo there, perhaps using maybe a bit of the gold in this level, depending on what kind of pricing point you're going to be offering here. But then going into your high level offering, we really reserve using that deep, rich purple colour alongside your indigo and your gold to really show the higher level offering. So together that would look like having your core brand colours at the top here, so you've got those neutral ones to balance on either side, but you've got your greens, your golds and your indigo as your core colours, and then start to introduce product brand colours. So you've got the blue, you've got the coral, and you've got that luxury deep purple colour. So I hope that helps you get some clarity around how and where to use the colours that you've chosen so far. I do really love the colour story that you have started, and the messaging that you've got going on here with the Egyptian style of things I think is a really strong story, so definitely continue along that road. I would avoid some of these kind of lighter colours and stick to some of the deeper colours, because that helps with the kind of positioning of light colours and are very much associated with kind of cheaper offerings, and deeper, darker colours are always more associated with higher level offerings, so it's always better to err on that side of things. But overall, absolutely love these colours that you've started to pull out. So I can't wait to see how you pull this all together, and do feel free to share over in the members group, and if you've got any other questions then just let me know.